What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. You obviously saw the thumbnail of this video. We are going to be checking out the NachBike R3 that's sitting right behind me. And you might be wondering, where is the B-roll footage that I normally do on this channel? And well, the kickstand on this bike came broken, and you can see that it's missing right there. And this is what I was left with. So obviously it wasn't the company's fault. They're not gonna ship you a bike with a broken snapped kickstand. What's cool though is if you do hit up customer service, they will send you any replacement part if you do have an issue with the bike, especially if it ruins the performance of it. And obviously in my case, I have to lay it down in my garage everywhere it's at. I tried to put it on the back of the wall and it ripped the paint off, so we're not gonna do that anymore. But it's cool they sent me one, but I couldn't put this on because they didn't send me the bolts as well, but it's kind of my fault. I didn't tell them about the bolts being snapped. So without further ado, I think what we're gonna do, we're gonna go and take this thing out for a spin and just enjoy it in today's video instead of boring you in the garage. That's probably what you guys wanna see anyway, is the riding content of it. So let's get out there and go. You can't park there. I think you saw this one the last time, didn't you? Yeah, I'm finally getting to the review of it.
Okay.
Yeah. 50 miles an hour. Yeah. All right, guys, we're out here on the bike, and the first thing I want to do, because we're gonna have to go over everything on this bike as we ride, and maybe you guys might like this a little bit better than our normal videos, but we'll mix it up here and there. So this is how the bike looks. Looks super nice. It has the fake carbon fiber. These were all folded up. I try to get them angled as best as possible. You can see where it was in the box like this. It really got kind of messed up, but these aren't really doing too much. These are the same thing. They're just really flimsy. Same with the front one as well. I found out how to put that one on. I also did an unboxing of this thing, so you guys go back and check that out. Some of these stickers that are on the battery, these are removable, but they're not stuck on there very good. So make sure to kind of push those on there. They keep lifting up. The only thing that's a sticker on this bike is going to be right here. You can take those off, but this is not a sticker, this is not a sticker, and that's not a sticker. So you are left with that branding on the bike. You could probably technically spray paint it if you want. This is also not a sticker either. It feels like it, but you're not going to be able to take that off. You also don't have to put this up here if you don't want, but I think this is kind of nice to have some storage and whatnot. If you do open it, it's kind of interesting because you do have two bolts right here, so you want to be careful with your phone. Maybe put some padding in there because you definitely don't want your phone to get cracked, especially if it flips upside down and hits the screen and whatnot. It feels like it's upside down to me, but you can also put something here, but when you close it, it's actually going to fly this way. So I don't know, I like the bag, but I feel like it should have been the opposite way around. The next thing I want to briefly talk about is the grips. They are just your basic, low budget grips. I mean, they kind of move back and forth. They don't feel that great. I would have liked to seen something better, but again, the price point of this bike is really good. I'll put it up on the screen right now so you guys know how much it is, because it's a very cheap bike for how fast it goes. This thing has a 3,000 watt hub motor, so it's absolutely quiet. It's a little bumpy though with these dirt tires on here. Definitely feel it. It's real nice and straight though. It's just, if you feel the bumps. And it has a peak power of 6,000 watts. So that's what I was trying to get at, because we're gonna do a speed run right here. We gotta see how fast this thing is. With a full battery charge, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Whoa. Now it didn't lift up in the front. It felt like it wanted to. 20 already. 30. This is faster, and the GPS has a little bit to catch up. So keep in mind that the speed over here is probably more accurate, but it's probably off by a few miles per hour. This thing is jamming. This thing is definitely moving. Let me close my visor, see if we can go a little faster. We got a little bit of wind with us. 47 miles an hour. Come on, 48. Come on, we can go. Oh, it's so windy. It's so windy, and holy crap, we're on a full battery charge and we're already down to 3 battery bars out of the 5. That's crazy. All right, so I think that's all we're gonna get out of this bike. But keep in mind, this bike does do 50 miles an hour. I have personally got it before when I was riding around before shooting this video review. I am down to 2 battery bars out of the 5. Whoa! So this is a 1,500 watt hour battery, 60 volt, 25 amp hours. 25 amp hours for this much power. That's not great. I gotta admit, that's not a big enough battery for something like this. So you're not gonna get a whole lot of riding out of this bike. I just don't see it happening. All right, way up. Go faster. Even people are passing you. Jeez Louise. Now, one cool thing about this bike is we do have turn signals, which is awesome. Whoa, turning on this bike with dirt tires definitely feels different than all the other bikes out there, and they're skinny and narrow, so it actually has a very good turning response. Like, you really feel it. I can tell you right off the bat that this bike feels like top heavy. Kind of reminds me of Onyx RCR. It feels like not all the weight is down below, it really feels like it's all at the top. And it does have a little tiny bit of back and forth to it when you're hauling ass full throttle, where it feels like this. It kind of feels like it's going like this, but very lightly. And I really think it has to do with these tires. This is gonna be a great bike for you if you were looking for something that's like a Sur-Ron or a Talaria, but you don't wanna pay that type of price. This is kind of like the aftermarket version of that, like the cheaper alternative if you're looking for something, and something that has pedals too, and you're probably, if you stay under the speed limit, you're not gonna have an issue with. Unless you're doing what I'm doing, going full throttle, then yeah, maybe you might get pulled over by the police. So as I'm looking at the display, I like that it has the power bars right here. I believe it has voltage. We'll get into that a little bit, but I like that it shows the power right here. So this little notch right here, as I give it power, it shows you how much power it's giving out of the bike. So that's pretty cool. Also, the pedal assist is right here. It just looks like Wi-Fi bars right there. You have your odometer right next to that. And if I do hit the M button, we can see our trip currently, 3 miles. Go over here, 60.8 volts right now on the voltage. That is such a nice feature to have. I understand a lot of people might not understand that, but once you buy a bike and you know what voltage it is, understand your voltage, you'll know exactly where your battery is at instead of going out the battery bars, because that's really scary to go out battery bars. And then the time that we've been out here, 10 minutes, and the whole miles that I have on the bike is 6 miles. Also, I am liking the throttle. It's a half twist throttle, not a full throttle, not a thumb throttle, but the throttle matches up with the grip on this side, and it actually doesn't feel too bad. It does have a stiff spring in there, so it might hurt on long distance trips by holding it, and there's no cruise control on this bike, keep in mind. But I do like that it's not super fat right here on the throttle, and the grip is super small. It's almost the same level, so it makes it feel better when holding onto the bike. And also notice we got DY Island hydraulic brakes on here, and they feel really good. I've always never really had an issue with DY Island hydraulic brakes, and I'm glad they put them on this bike. They're the cheaper type, but I mean, they work. And that's the next thing I gotta talk about right now. I just hit a few potholes right there, and the bike threw me out of the seat. That is one of the first things I noticed. This is a Sur-Ron seat, by the way, but the suspension in the back is not Sur-Ron suspension. This is some really stiff suspension in the back. This is made for like a 400-pound rider, and I'm only 163 pounds, and it's not the business. This rear suspension really feels bad. It's really rough, and I actually went out when I bought this bike, I got an actual pump so I can air it up, because it was at 0 PSI when I got it. And I put it at 150 PSI in the back, because you need a special pump for these right here. Take this little thing off, this little shredder valve, air that thing up, and it made it worse. So now it has 0 PSI on it, but it doesn't move. There's really no suspension travel in there. I think the spring they use is just way too stiff for a rider that's, say, anywhere from 150 to 250 pounds, and that's gonna be your average person that rides these bikes. Now, this looks interesting. This is what this bike is kind of made for. So we're gonna go off-roading until probably someone tells us something. Let's just try to make a loop real quick and come back and see what happens. Whoa, oh, it's bumpy. Oh man, all right. So we were on some smooth roads over there. Now it's, oh yeah, oh, no, no, no. All right, I thought we were gonna be able to fly through here, but we're not. It is way too sketchy. The back is definitely washing out as well. It's definitely moving back there. This is what I feel comfortable doing. Trust me, if I can go faster than this, I would. I already feel like I'm gonna go down. Ooh, all right, this is a little harder out here, but still. Oh, man. The first thing you gotta do if you buy this bike, replace that rear suspension. It is not the business. Okay, here we go, here we go. This is harder out here. Oh, it's bumpy. Oh, it's bumpy. Man, I really thought this was gonna be a good off-road bike, but it's not. It's nice and quiet and stealth-like, and it has pedals. 50 miles an hour, what's the complaint when it's in the $2,000 price point? Whoa! Oh man, but that will definitely get to you on a long ride. My hand hurts like hell right now. Woo. Oh, man. Oh man, let's just stick to the road. We will go off-road really quick because I want to do a hill test and I want to show you how powerful this thing is. I think at this point I would put street tires on it and I would just call it a day and I wouldn't even use it for off-roading. I just really wouldn't. Another thing too, you guys haven't noticed, is that it actually has a Sur-Ron headlight as well on top of having the Sur-Ron seat. I thought that was kind of interesting. They basically borrowed parts from that. I'm assuming they're probably just cheap. They're all on AliExpress, Alibaba, so that makes sense. Here's some cool things you might like about this bike. Obviously, I showed you the turn signals. Whoa, the bike started washing out right there. Woo, I get the back to wash out on a turn like that. It has a nice horn. It's a real horn. That's loud. That is loud. People are definitely gonna hear that. I bet you anyone that's on the trail around the corner heard that. It's like, what the hell was that? And real quick, before we do this hill test, I'm gonna let you guys know that the Sur-Ron seat is comfortable. Obviously, there's more comfortable seats out there. The suspension is what is ruining this bike right now in the back. The front feels perfectly fine. You do have a compression adjustment right here that you can do, and I have it on pretty much the softest setting. I have no problem with the front, just the back. So here we go. We're gonna be starting at the bottom of this hill, and we're gonna see how much it powers up this thing. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's moving. 60 volt e-bike, baby. Whoa, what is that? 20 miles an hour, 21 miles an hour. Now, technically it was 19, but obviously I should have went off of this. I didn't even see what this is. Let me do that one more time because this is actually more accurate getting up to speed, but it's off by 2 miles an hour compared to this. Has a little bit to catch up because this bike picks up speed so fast that my phone can't register it fast enough. All right, here we go. We're gonna look at that. 1, 2, 3. 15, 16, 18, 21, 22, 23, 23. Okay, so no, that's about right. 21 miles an hour coming up this thing. Dang, this thing's blasting. This is the fastest bike so far coming up this hill that I own, other than my custom bikes that I modified. Right out of the box performance though, this one is hauling ass. So a lot of people might be thinking, can you wheelie this bike? And me personally, I can't, but if you do want to do it, you just have to disconnect the brake sensors on here, because one thing I notice is obviously if you do hit the brakes, it does cut the power to the bike. That's always a nice safety thing, and it also makes an audible beep. So if you guys can hear this, I'll hold the brake right now and I'll pull the throttle. Can you guys hear that? So it has a nice beep to let you know. It's just, I guess, not going to give you the power on the bike and something's wrong, or you have your brake on or something. Whoa, 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 this bike is all over the place. Man, it just wants to wash out in the back. That's crazy. All right, we're coming up to the bridge test right now. Let's see how this thing is. Yeah, no issues. Handlebars are short. Very short, in fact. They're not long at all, and they're not tall. They're not out of the way. They have a little bit of a rise to them, so perfectly fine for me. Cross the bridge, no issue. And then we go. Man, this thing takes off like a beast. If you're seriously just looking for power and speed and you want something that looks like a dirt bike from Temu or AliExpress or DHgate or something like that, this would be the bike for you for sure. So the next thing I like to do on this test is obviously I'd go through the gears, but we only have one single gear on this bike, so it's not really a pedal bike, but it has pedals on it, so let's test out the pedals. Here we go. Whoa! The pedals activated quick. Is this gonna be a very quick e-bike for pedaling? Okay, nice and slow right there. And it shows me my power. Right now, the power on the bike is about 25–30%. So that's cool. Let me see if I pedal faster. Oh, there we go. Almost lifted the front up. There we go. So the harder I pedaled, the faster the bike went. But I'm trying to see what the pedal response is. So let's do that one more time. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's instant. That's like half a second, not even half a second delay for those pedals to activate. So if you're looking for a nice bike for the pedals to just be real quick and get going, instead of having to use a throttle all the time, then man, you're gonna like this bike for how quick the pedal response was. That was nice. Now let's do the throttle response. 1, 2, 3. It's instant. I mean, it gives you the power right off the bat. There's no delay. 1, 2, 3. It's gone. It's absolutely gone. Super quick, man. I'm torn because this bike is so smooth, other than the bumpiness of the knobby tires on here. When I'm on a road, it feels great. Off-road, oh my God. Like, I can't get over how bad it is off-road, but on the road, it's just perfectly fine. I really think they should have had an option for street tires. Let's take a little shortcut, see how it is. Oh. Makes a lot of noise, and that rear suspension is so stiff that the back popped up and brought the front down. It did not absorb any of that at all. Honestly, it was pretty harsh. And right now, it showed that my battery bar started blinking right now. It was actually flashing like it was gonna die. Let's see if we can have that pop up again while I stay on the throttle on this street. It's crazy, we're down to 1 battery bar, and I've went 7.8 miles. This is not gonna be a bike that's great for range before this battery cuts out. You really have to go super slow. You're getting 20 or 30 minutes of ride time out of this battery. I really personally think they should have seen if they can fit a 35 amp hour battery in here at like the minimum. Obviously it is a huge battery, it looks like, but there's a lot more room in this frame to fit something bigger. It would have probably been maybe 3,000 or close to it if they would have went with a bigger battery. So I get it, the price point to someone buying it, but yeah. Oh no, there we go, the battery bar is gone. Oh my God, it's flashing, it's flashing. All right, next thing we're gonna do is a brake test. Let's get down to 28 miles an hour. Let's figure that out real quick. Whoa! All right, well, we gotta do that again. This is pretty far. The other bikes I reviewed were kind of right over here. I'm gonna do that one more time and try to hold 28, because I was kind of on the throttle when I hit the brakes. So let's do that one more time and get a fair shot. Here we go, it's 26. Okay, well, I didn't exactly reach 28, but I mean, we barely stopped any shorter, so I actually think that's kind of accurate on the braking. Now, I like DY Island hydraulic brakes, no issues with them. They look great, they're in the red color. But I guess with not having a flat tire and you're really only riding on this little skinny one in the middle and maybe a little bit on the corners, it can't grip the ground as good as a flat tire would. So that's probably why we're sliding so much. So just keep in mind, the brakes work good, but if you slam on them and the bike slides, the tires don't have much contact patch, they're gonna slide. Oh no! E06 error. What? No power. I think our battery is gone. I think it just went down on a voltage sag and just completely cut power. I think that's exactly what it is. I think it actually has a battery indicator right there too, right under the 1 of the mile per hour. Oh, that's interesting. All right. See if we could turn it off when rolling. I guess you can't. Let's come up to a stop. And look, it shows that I do have 2 battery bars. See if we don't even have to turn it off. Oh, I didn't even have to turn it off. I just had to come to a stop and I can get back on it. All right, interesting. I mean, that's better than having to turn it off, I guess. But yeah, it's that voltage sag cutout. Battery probably dipped too low, and to safely, you know, make sure it doesn't hurt the battery, cut out at some point from the BMS in there. Yeah, I didn't get much riding out of this. When did that happen? 10 miles exactly, because I'm at 10.1 miles. I seriously only got 10 miles out of this bike? That just goes to show you guys. Go watch some other YouTubers and see how much range they get out of these bikes and see how they ride them. Because I'm hard on these bikes. I'm full throttle everywhere I go, and watch, it's probably gonna happen again. But that kind of blows my mind. 10 miles before you start running the issues like that, and you're probably gonna have to turn the power down and go slower. It's kind of nuts. But then some people don't ride like me. You might be riding at 20 or 30 miles an hour and then maybe hit 50 when you got to get on the road. There we go. Hit the cutout again. So you can definitely probably push 20 miles of range, maybe 25 out of it if you really go slower, but I don't really think you're getting 30 unless you're in, man, 8 miles an hour everywhere. That's my guess. So I guess I have to come to a complete stop, I guess. Yep, I have to come to a complete stop. That battery indicator goes away, and then we're good to go again. It's interesting. All right. I mean, now I know. Let's see how many times this happens until I probably can't get back home. But I think it's just gonna keep doing it over and over and over, and I'm gonna have to keep doing this. Or I just put it in 3. Actually, what are we in right now? Yeah, we are in 5. So if I put it in 3 and rode like that, it won't go as fast. I think it's like 30 miles an hour. Let's find out right now. Okay, so 3 is 26 to 25 miles an hour. So if I bump it up to 4, 4 is gonna push it over a class 3 e-bike. So yeah, you're gonna have to keep it in 3 if you wanna be legal going everywhere, but you're not gonna be going exactly 28, which is the maximum speed limit in California. But you will be under it, and cops probably won't, you know, bat an eye too much, because if you're going under the speed limit, they see you, they might want to pull you over, then they see the pedals, and they're just like, oh, okay, never mind. What is this Amazon guy doing? Did he lose the package? That's interesting. He just stopped in the middle of the road for the longest time. Come on, we're in 4. I'm curious to see if it's going to cut out. 4 gives us about, still going, 42 roughly. Oh, as soon as it hit 42 miles an hour, power cut. So we're going to have to dip it down into 3. 3 is going to probably be the only mode right now that I can ride in comfortably without that doing that. How's the torque feel? Whoa, the torque still feels really good. Man, but when I hit 20 miles an hour, it really cut power and started limiting me. But getting up to 20 miles an hour, even in 3, was fast. Yeah, so now you guys know, if you guys buy this bike, it's not a range bike. It's not a range bike at all. But if you want a cheap bike to go 50 miles an hour, and you want to look like everybody else on the road, and you want to kind of look like cool and sporty and look like a dirt bike, then yeah, this could be a bike for you. It just really depends on what you're thinking. But I will say, gotta replace that suspension right off the bat. You have to. I don't know how much I gotta, you know, tell you guys that suspension in the back is just too rough. Like right now, it's uneven on this side, and I can feel it like going back and forth. And even if it didn't have that, it still kind of goes back and forth. Let's pedal past this guy so he knows we're a bike. Whoa, they planted so many things out here. These are all brand new. Man, that guy's been working. Holy, this had no plants at all. That's wild. Yeah, they're gonna look like this, I guess. All right, so no cuts in mode 3. So we're just big chilling. But I will say, I didn't buy this bike to do 25 miles an hour. I bought it to go super fast. And super fast is what I wanna go until the bike cuts off. I wonder what would be faster, going 50 miles an hour, briefly stopping and going again, or just staying at about 25 miles an hour. I don't know. So I'm getting pretty far, but I'm not gonna get that far. Come on, come on. Oh, it's flashing again. When it's flashing, that's when it's gonna cut out. I think we're just gonna call it, guys. I know this bike is gonna cut off. I expected to get a little bit more out of this bike. I like the brakes though. The brakes are good. The torque is insane. The torque is great. Can't go wrong with that. I just wish I had a kickstand because I want to put it down and I want to kind of go over this bike, but I gotta hold it the whole time. I do like that it has a storage thing right here to put your phone. Like I said, I didn't like how it was set up because I feel like it's upside down, but to each their own. The battery could have been bigger. It could have been way out here. You might want to order another battery for this bike if you do order it, like put it in your backpack, because you are not going to meet your friends on a ride unless you have a truck that you can load it up on. Obviously, these are really cheap. I'm pretty sure you can even put the Sur-Ron ones on here if you want. If you want to get rid of these, these are just a fake carbon fiber, but they're so flimsy and they make the bike look cheap. I love the motor because it's nice and quiet. Super big though, and it does say 3,000 watts on the side, so they might know if they pull you over that this is not a street legal bike at 750 watts. I like the big tires. I like the knobby tread, but however, the knobby tread does not feel good for how I ride. The pedals felt really good and comfortable for me at about 5'9". And overall, it's cool. It needs better suspension to just feel like a better bike overall. That's my take. And then maybe some different tires. But it's cool because you can modify it after the fact and, you know, do what you want. You can get it in cheap and then save up for parts on it if you can't afford like a Sur-Ron or something that's like, now they're $4,500. They're expensive as hell. So anyways, I'll leave you guys on that note. Links are down in the description. You guys can save some money and hurry up because the company actually just told me today when I was filming this video that the bikes are running out. Now, it's not to try to push you to buy the bikes. I'm just letting you guys know that it's gonna be gone soon. And they have to restock them, and they won't be available until, I think, mid-August. So just keep in mind, if you want one now, you might want to order it right now. Again, check the links down in the description. I'll see you guys at the night riding video when we do that in a couple days. Well, I for sure know that I'm going to be charging this thing right now. Whoa, there's a little glimpse of the headlight. What? Oh, man, all right. This is interesting. This gives you a preview for the next video coming up. Let me just set this bike on the ground because... yeah, no kickstand life.